Hey guys, Ben here from Wrestling Life. Now, I recorded a video a couple of days ago talking about why I was choosing to take a break from WWE for a while. I've been so overwhelmed by all of the responses that video has generated. Some people agreeing with me, some people strongly disagreeing with me. And that's okay because that's wrestling at the end of the day, that's life at the end of the day. We don't all have to think the same thing. We don't all have to experience the world in the same way. One thing that makes wrestling great is that we all have very different opinions and very different emotions about it. So I'm grateful to everyone that watched the video and left some feedback. Grateful to everyone who mentioned about my smoke alarm. I am aware it is an ongoing issue. Touch wood, fingers crossed, we'll get through this short video without that really annoying beeping noise. But thank you for everyone who bore with me during that video. One of the things that I got a lot of comments from people was people saying, well, there are alternatives. If you're not enjoying WWE, that's fine. Why don't you give AEW a go? Now the thing is, I love AEW. Okay, in terms of what AEW stands for and what AEW represents in the business. I was so excited when the first ever All In event was announced. I remember being blown away by Nick Aldis's match with Cody Rhodes and just the spectacle of seeing 11,000 fans coming together in Chicago as an alternative to WWE. I remember being blown away by Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes' incredible match, by the arrival of Jon Moxley, by Chris Jericho signing with the company, like all these huge landmark moments in 2018, 2019 that gave us fans an alternative to WWE. And I was like a kid at Christmas when the first Dynamite arrived on October 2nd, 2019 on ITV here in the UK. I was like, wow, every week now there is episodic wrestling that I can watch and enjoy. And that enjoyment really carried through for me for a good few years in AEW's early history. So when the world shut down and we were so starved of content, I've said it before on this podcast many times, AEW provided me with such an incredible connection to the world. I loved their programming. I loved how we started to kind of see over time crowds very slowly returning. It felt like the world was starting to come back to us again. I loved AEW's commitment to putting out really great episodic television during a time when we really needed that escapism. I think where my love for AEW has dwindled a bit in the last few years has somewhat been, ironically, to do with the actual demographic that AEW is aimed at, and how much violence has been in the product, and some of the things that I just haven't really liked about the storylines, and as I say, ultra violence, barbed wire matches, extreme gore, things that I loved when I was a teenager but actually don't really appeal to me for whatever reason. Now I'm in my 40s, so just not my cup of tea. But something got me thinking, which was a comment that the brilliant Ben Allison made yesterday on his channel. He said, Coffee Thoughts number 137. One aspect of WWE's ticket prices, which is nobody is talking about, is how it could help AEW. If young families start attending AEW events instead of WWE's due to dollar cost, 20 years from now, AEW could control the childhood nostalgia market within wrestling. And I just thought, wow, that's a fascinating perspective. So shout out again to Ben Allison for saying that. Because here's the thing, AEW has obviously been presented as this alternative to WWE. It came in when WWE was still very much catering towards children, the PG era of the company. It was aimed at the kind of 18 to 35 male demographic that didn't have ECW anymore, that didn't have the Attitude Era, that longed for, swearing and sex and rock and roll and violence. But now we're in the Netflix era, and where we are now, and WWE has pushed the envelope so much, there is a question whether AEW has a great opportunity now, if Tony Khan and co can grasp it, to be an alternative to WWE but actually caters to families. I mean, I think what Mark Shapiro has done with his insane comments about WWE ticket prices and that Vince McMahon only cared about pricing towards families is what he's done is he's opened up the gateway for an alternative company to really, really step up and be the family-friendly product. And if you think about it, probably most of you watching this video right now are like me. You probably got into it when you were a kid. I was attracted to, Papa Shango, the Berserker, Kamala, Tatonka, Repo Man, all the colours and the spectacle and the silliness of wrestling, because early 90s wrestling was silly, but it was also wonderful. My camera's doing very strange things, apologies for this. But, that's the thing, like wrestling was incredible back in those early days, and it was just so silly and so spectacular and so over the top, and that's why we loved it. Fast forward to where we are today, and we haven't got those really, big over the top characters so much anymore, and it is much more of a mature product. And it's not really something that necessarily really appeals to my kids. I mean, I've got a 6-year-old son who, he enjoys playing with my wrestling figures. He likes Rey Mysterio. He likes the look of Roman Reigns, because I guess he gravitates towards those because they are larger than life. But as I said in my video when I was talking about ticket prices, I can't afford to take him to WWE Live because it's simply cost prohibitive. What I would love to do is to be able to start taking him to AEW shows. I'd love, looking ahead to All In 2026, to be able to have my son experience a giant stadium event with wrestling, because I never got SummerSlam 1992 myself. I can only imagine how special it would be as a little boy to go and see that with your dad. But to do that, I need to be sure that a product is safe for his eyes. And I need to know what AEW stands for going forward. And will AEW continue to be this place that mixes great storytelling and characters with ultra violence? Or can it actually become the alternative? Can it start to become the new WWE? And by that, what I mean is the World Wrestling Federation, but so many of us grew up in the 1990s and we loved the toys and we had the stickers and we had the t-shirts and everything about it. Is there an opportunity for AEW to properly step up now and provide a genuine alternative for families who are jaded by WWE, who simply can't afford it or have decided to walk away? Just a short video today, but I wanted to really use this as an opportunity to get the community talking again. Let me know what you think. Do you think there's a way that AEW can evolve its product? Should it evolve its product? Should Tony Khan be considering now this is a time for All Elite to become family friendly? Because I think if it does, the opportunity is there for the taking with how WWE is moving forward. That's it for me for today. As always, I'm Ben Bill. This is Wrestling Life. Please leave a comment. Please support the show if you can. More importantly, check out the interviews that drop each week on this show with people who are far more interested and eloquent than me, because really, this is all about the talent. It's not about me. I just pop in a video every so often with my thoughts. So thanks, guys. Take care. Be good to each other. Have a great day. See you soon. Bye.